coming out of this offseason?
Good. I mean, healthy. Healthiest I've been in a long, long time. So I'm just blessed to start there and to be able to come in healthy and just to work on myself and just overall my whole game, and not just particularly getting one element of my body healthy and just being all out there and not having any restrictions or held back from being engaged in the team activities, and just it's exciting. And having the off-season program back, obviously being held with COVID the last 2 years, it's good. Get the young guys in early, get them started, just to get the ball in play and just running plays feels great.
Before we go with more of the OTAs,
Yeah, please.
just with your foundation tonight in the town hall coming less than 32 hours after another tragedy, if you can just talk about that, your thoughts, what tonight's town hall will be about and going forward. I guess. That's a lot, I know.
Yeah, I mean, well, the town hall I'm having tonight, blessed obviously just with this platform to be able to host something as such with so many leaders and community leaders around the DFW area, and honestly our leaders of tomorrow with the youth, and just being able to get them in the same room and create conversation and engage in these conversations that obviously we're lacking. And I think the over the past 32 hours shows you that just the lack of conversation and understanding and empathy we're having for one another as humans, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I think too many times we run from conflict, and I mean that by the questions and the conversations. And if yesterday and 2 weeks ago and all of what we've been through hasn't been a call for each and every one of us for help for our neighbor, and for what's going on with them individually, and how we're protecting and policing and serving one another throughout our community. Something has to be done, and a change has to happen now. And I'm blessed to be able to start a conversation and have it, as I said, shortly after this has happened. So I'm sure things of that nature will be brought up, and as I said, they will cause uncomfortable conversations. But I know so much growth and so much positive can come from that in the negative world that we're living in.
And that's kind of been your thrust from the start, wasn't it? I mean, because you're getting like members of the police to sit down with the community with the problems they have, and it's actually trying to start a conversation versus just the political talking points. I guess.
No, we're definitely, it's the conversations, as you said, the political leaders, the law enforcement, and then our community, the ones that they are serving, getting them face to face and allow them to have these open dialogues of why they feel uncomfortable or they don't feel protected, or what this anxiety or stigma or all this is that's bringing us apart, what it's about, and let's bring it to the forefront. So as I say, we can have these uncomfortable conversations, but we can get somewhere from them and not continue to show division like we are.
Are you talk about those types of things in the locker room? I know Tank was very outspoken when he came by here 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, the locker room's a special place, and I say that because I don't want to say those things don't have to be talked about, but those things are dealt with day in and day out, because this locker room's built of so many people from different backgrounds, different everything, religions, race, you name it. And because we're all in a common goal, we've worked and we've already hashed out some of these things that when something of this magnitude happen, it would be wrong if we didn't mention it, as we have in our offense and defense. But to say that we've got to dial in and get to know one another better, the locker room has that, and that's why the locker room's special. And I think the world needs more of those, needs more locker rooms, whatever it may be, whether it's your workforce or not. And simple as that.
I think the average sports fan forgets that some of these things impact you guys, because you have family members that don't live with you, they live elsewhere, and they could be impacted by going to a school or getting pulled over or anything of that nature.
I mean, I don't know how something like that doesn't impact everyone. I don't care if you're an athlete or not. We're talking about children. We're talking about the future. I mean, I don't have kids and can't imagine having to send my kid to school with that anxiety, with that. Honestly, it makes me fearful to have children, and that's not right. That's sad. Yeah.
Have you been told to stick to sports? Have you heard that from some people? Or
no, I don't know if
respectful?
anyone's that ignorant to tell me that, to be honest with you.
Is your level of frustration, is it greater now than when you started the foundation, or did you know this is a journey and it's about forming relationships and it takes time for true transformation? I mean, I guess where are you kind of emotionally with all that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm frustrated because obviously I want to do so much, and I feel like people are, but when things happen like they did yesterday, it shows you that we're not close and we're actually going in the wrong direction. But I definitely knew this was a journey, and I jumped in my foundation and created what I did with the idea that I know changes and things won't happen tomorrow, that this is going to take a process, and it takes me using my platform and getting everybody, the leaders and everybody that I can involved. And as I said, to create these conversations so we can actually make a change and get somewhere.
Back to football real quick. Mr. Lamb, how have you seen him grow since he started in 2020?
Yeah, I mean, so much. Obviously, just picking up the playbook and just his knowledge of the game and just his feel. And just being able to, I mean, you've seen in the season, play inside, play outside, wherever we put him. He's locked in, he's getting better, and he's growing, and he's always talking to me. We're communicating, and so we're always taking a step. And now for him to step in the shoes of the guys, the number one receiver, I know he's excited to wear those pants, I guess you can say, and make the most of it.
He said you moved his locker next to him. Why?
I did, yeah. Well, my two other locker mates left, so I was a little lonely and decided, he's the guy. So I just wanted, I mean, obviously just being young, knowing that, I mean, hopefully he's my receiver till I'm done playing. So just being able to bring him closer, more conversations, just he's right there, accessible to talk and just communicate. So.
You talked about the details of the difference for him in the whole offense this third season for him. How have those details been ironed out, do you feel, with your time with him this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, we're continuing to work on him, and it's a process. And that's he mentioned that because that's something this whole offense has hung our hat on, is getting better in the details, because those are the things that show up late in the year. And so we're just trying to dial in and, as I said, focus on each and every one of those and never look over them and never take them for granted. So no matter what it is, just being detailed and purposeful in all of our work.
You have your teamwork here, but you also have time to work individually from your footwork, technique. What have you been able to work on this offseason that for so much of last offseason you couldn't work on as you were rehabbing?
Yeah, I mean, everything, honestly. We were testing 10-yard starts or something like that the other day, and mine may not have been what I wanted it to be, but I can tell you it was much better than it was last year. So, I'm improving, and there we go. So, yeah, I mean, it's just about getting better, as I said, in every aspect of my game and not just necessarily rehabbing. So I feel great. It's the footwork, it's the foot speed, and it's just being consistent throughout.
Did you see the talk that people say you guys are taking a step back in talent is because of who you lost, and there's no, please name people you replaced them with, and I don't know if you, what gets you excited and to prove them wrong, or that you guys know that you can be as good as you were and better?
Yeah, because we know what we have in this locker room and we know what we can be. Talent is one thing, but if you don't fulfill it, it doesn't really mean anything. So just from the names and stuff like that, we've got young players that just haven't had a chance to make a name for themselves. So excited for those guys to be able to do that and for them to prove people wrong. I know what this team has and the men that they have and the coaches and the leadership. And, yeah, we definitely did take a step back. We're going to continue to get better, and that's what this offseason is about. That's what moving forward is.
Tyler Smith told me that you invited him to an event that you had, and Neville Gallimore was talking about how some of the older guys don't make him feel like there's necessarily the one dog. Has there been a concerted effort by you and some of the veterans to make sure that there's a chemistry and that all these guys feel included and they're part of the group and part of one collective goal? And if so, where does that come from?
I've been fortunate and blessed. Since I've been on this team, it's been that type of chemistry, camaraderie, and brotherhood, I can say, is that there's not ever been in this locker room one guy bigger than the rest. So for these young guys to come in and pick that up and to feel that, that's a compliment, I'd say, to all the guys that have been here and to the coaches and just to the people that put so much effort in making sure the locker room is a good and healthy place. And that answers the question of why we don't necessarily have to have full-blown conversations about what's happening outside of this world, is because everybody's inclusive, and that's what we want it to be. Is we're as good as our weakest link. So if everybody continue to raise and push each other on the way to being great, we'll be just fine.
Dak, what's your favorite part about when the rookies mesh with the veterans?
The questions. The questions are always the greatest. I mean, these guys come in and just when they ask a question, it makes you remember and realize how fast 6 and 7 years goes, and just it feels like I was there yesterday wondering these same things about the vets, or how to take care of your body, or what's the best way to study the playbook. So just those natural conversations where they're trying to become a pro and they're just looking for the answers and the techniques and tools to do that. It's fun.
What's the best way on the field for a young receiver to make a positive impression on the starting quarterback and earn his confidence?
Yeah, catch every ball thrown his way. Show that he has range. But more importantly, breaking the huddle with confidence, showing you know what to do, that you can take it from the film room, from the classroom, and you can go out there and do it on the field. That when we break the huddle, you're going to line up in the right spot. You know what you're doing. You're confident in that, and you can just play fast. So the quicker these guys pick up the playbook, the quicker the easier it is to notice on the field.
Year 7 does come pretty quick, but when you look back on your career so far, what stands out?
how fast it's went. Honestly, I'd said 6 about a month ago, and Zeke said, no, we're going on 7. So I don't know if it's the year I missed that I'm just blocking out or not. But, yeah, I mean, it goes fast, but I'm just blessed. I mean, blessed, obviously, just be at this team, this platform, and have the teammates that we do. It's in 7 years to be one of the older guys. It's different, obviously, thinking about when the time that I came in and how that rookie year was, but just knowing the impact that I have on these young rookies and these young players, and not just me, all of these guys and us as a locker room, that we've got to expedite their growth and make sure that they're ready to play now, and we're getting all the tools they need to get ready for training camp.
You mentioned Zeke. What's your expectations for him this year?
Nothing ever changed from my expectations of Zeke, of who he is, how he leads this team, how he approaches the game. He comes in like a pro each and every day and does that. So I expect his best. When you do that and you do it with the intensity, the intentfulness that he does, he's going to get better. So when Zeke healthy, I don't think there's a better bet.
You have a young guy come in.
Michael and David.
Oh, okay.
Last 3 was.
When you have a young guy come in like Tolbert, who it appears is going to have a big impact
Yeah.
early because of injury, do you schedule time just with him, or do you like to do it in a group with the other guys so he can see how they respond to you, or
Yeah,
how
I
do you
mean,
go about that?
Yeah, so that time will come. Right now, I just want him to pick up the playbook. I don't want to give him too much or give him extended, I guess you can say, details of something that he doesn't even know the first step to. So right now it's about picking up the playbook, getting as much as he can down, and as those questions grow for him, I'll answer those, and that's where the time will come of getting him one-on-one, watching film, and just making sure that we're seeing things the right way. And, yeah, he's a smart guy. He's already picked up on a lot, and those questions are already starting, so we're moving fast.
I know it's not something new for you and Mike to have a conversation like you did after practice today on the field, but when y'all are talking that long, is it more about practice, the team? Like, take us through why that's important.
Life, honestly. I mean, it just depends. It depends on if something came up in practice and it's about that, or if it's about what's happening going on in our country, or whether it's about the locker room and if there's anything that needs to be addressed. Just to have that, as I've talked over and over, just his genuineness and just being able to approach him and him approach me, whether it be about football, life, or the locker room. I think it's important, and make sure that the messages and everything are aligned.
Regarding the offense-wide focus about details, how do you localize that in terms of what about the details has your attention most in terms of your own game and the entire offense?
Yeah, for me, my details are footwork, in the sense of just being consistent late in the year. You work a lot on things and throughout the offseason, but making sure that I continue to do it throughout the season, that they're showing up late. And as I said, that you don't take those things for granted, and then you look up late, and the details are the reason why you lost. So just trying to be dialed in.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.